Okay. I think the YouTube should be working. Uh, yeah. Can someone verify if YouTube's working? Otherwise, I'll just get started. Um, Let me see. So now that this is alphabetical, we can actually wait. Sorry. Let me. Okay. Yeah. Now that this ticker list is alphabetical, I'm actually gonna switch to approach. So what I can do instead of just taking requests, I'm actually just gonna go through everything. Um, Not every single one, but the grand majority. And then so what will with the YouTube recording should be simple enough to just go scroll through it, make sure you know, um, whichever ticker you're interested in, just make sure you find the timestamp corresponding to that. So it should be a bit easier for people to comb through. Um, and yeah, as I go through each ticker, um, yeah, feel free, anyone in the chat, to make any comments you have on it. But I guess what we can change in the approach is don't really have to sort of go through and request them. I'll just try to cover them all, and then um, that should be more helpful overall. Yeah, because also I don't want to keep doubling up because as more and more people's, you know, join the server and that stuff, it's not so practical. Yeah, screen's not sharing. You're correct. Give me a second here. Okay, wait. So screen is sharing now. I hope. Okay, so still no screen. It's showing that I'm streaming. Wait, let me change stream quality, source. Oh, no screen. Oh, you're saying just no. I don't think I'm the person for that. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'll just get started, and then, like I said, if any of y'all have comments as I go through them, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll just start sort of cranking through these. Um, yeah. So Apple. Sorry, let me check one hour. Okay, so Apple ran today. Well, whole market ran today, so probably wouldn't be too interested in Apple unless we hit 260 or 270, and then try to play the reversal back into the range. So actually, I guess Apple's actually quite simple. If we just come retest this level around 260, I would try to play the bounce. Other than that, I don't see there being much of a play here. So actually, let me set an alert. Okay, hold up, someone's unmuted. Give me a second. uh, okay, yeah. Sorry, it's checking John's message. All right, yeah, that's Apple. There's really not much of an opinion here. I mean, the map is quite clean actually. Um, yeah, 250 is also a good level, but I doubt we retrace there. This 260 level looks quite strong, so that's really all I have to say on Apple. Uh, Airbnb. Let me see here. Yeah, Airbnb, the good double bottom was down here of 117 a while back. Let me see. Don't know if I'm too interested on Airbnb. If we do manage to get to 133, I guess a rejection there would probably do well.
Put it on the charger. Hey, put it on the
Uh,
charger, please. Put that orange and blue blanket.
but yeah, I don't. Unless we tap 133, I don't really like Airbnb here, so I think I'm gonna run out of alerts. But I'll just start setting them all over. Um, yeah, Archer looks messy. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we're kind of basing here $12 for a floor. I guess on the chart we hit this wick here down at $11 ish. I don't know if I play this. It does look pretty muddy to the upside, but yeah, I probably would not play this one. ACN. Okay, so ACN has a decent range. I guess the bounce off 225 probably already happened. Not even. Got to 230 and double bottomed. Um, yeah, I don't know about this one. I guess if we come double top here, I'd be tempted to take puts. Off of this 254 on the chart, 255 node here on the VEX especially. The only thing you want to check is off this bounce at 230 if this 225 node shrank a lot. But yeah, I guess if we keep volume there, then we could see some downside. But yeah, I would say this VEX range is all right. So I'd try to play the shorts off of the upside. I wouldn't think we'd bounce off that 225. Yeah. Okay. So ACN, I mean, or Accenture, I think. Yeah. Yeah, probably not much of a play yet, but we'll see if we approach either side of that range. But right now the range is quite large. Yeah, for anyone that joined late, I'm not doing requests. I'm just gonna go through them alphabetically, and then if you either missed them or if you just want to leave and come back watch the recording, it'll be chronological based on it's gonna be alphabetic order, so you can just it'll be much easier to find in the timeline. So there's no need to put requests. Um, Unless you have any comments over any of them as I'm going through them. I think Adobe is already, the play was Friday or today. So this one feels like more of a chase. I wouldn't probably play it at all, especially as we're getting to some like previous support, which could be resistance at this, what level is this? Oh, wait, sorry. Okay, whoa, sorry, my computer's lagging. Okay, yeah, at this 345 node. So yeah, I guess if you're in Adobe, yeah, just watch for a bit of resistance at 345 based on the chart, but I guess upside does look pretty good up to 355. And I guess this is a good example. I would not short it at 355 just because of this node for the next week is still pointing further upside, so I'd probably just leave it be. So yeah, I'd say Adobe, don't chase it, but that was probably one of the better plays for today. Um, yeah, A-firm, let me see. Guess it also ran off the 67 node that it tapped on Friday. So that was probably the better floor. Yeah, so A-firm, this might happen for a lot of stocks now that I look at this. I think a lot of stuff ran Friday and Monday, Friday and today. So just make sure you're not chasing anything and waiting for retests. Again, with A-firm, I probably wouldn't play puts at 75, or you can, but just don't expect too much downside because we do have upside nodes for next week at 84 and 80. So I wouldn't have much hope for like a super strong rejection of 75. But again, I mean, mark the level. I mean, the 75 node does correspond with a pretty strong 74.5 level on the chart. So we can still reject. I wouldn't hold it into next week. Probably just play shorter dated. Okay. AI. Okay, wait, sorry. Give me a second. I don't know why my computer's so slow right now. Jesus Christ. OBS. Okay, not sure. It's probably one of my 50 Chrome windows. Um, okay. Yeah, so for AI, looks like we tapped near 19 and rejected already. Yeah, this one, I don't have much of an opinion here. Um, we don't really have further downside to target. I guess the upside is also looks quite limited. Um, so yeah, I guess if we get a full tap of 19, you can try puts, but I typically prefer when they have some kind of volume in the direction that I'm playing. Um, but yeah, you can mark out 19 if you want on AI and see if we get some downside. Why not puts off of 18.5? That's a personal preference, Josh. Like I always, typically when I see stack nodes, I prefer to enter on the higher or the lower. No, not because it's gatekeeper, but if we reject, we could reject either one, right? So I just prefer to wait for the latest entry possible. So if I'm not able to get in at 19, like if we never tap it, I'll just never take the play, if that makes sense. But that's a personal thing. Like, whoa, someone about to crash. Um, yeah, I know people with like larger portfolios sometimes will take in a smaller position at 18.5 and then scale in as we hit 19, if we hit 19. But me personally, and I guess this should probably be good advice for any of you with smaller portfolios, I would not get too worried about scaling into positions and anything like that. I would just be trying to take the most conservative entry. Um, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Um, A-Lab, I think someone mentioned this. Yeah, we are kind of stair-stepping right. Yeah, hold up. A-Lab looks quite nice. Fuck, I have to close all my Chrome tabs. It's ridiculous. Close this one. Yeah, let me close this one. Okay. Oh, did I? Whoops. Oh, my background? I actually don't know. There's a few of us, I think, in the background, so it's me and my cousins. All right. Um, yeah, someone had told me about ALAB. I forgot who mentioned it. So yeah, we seem to be stair stepping upward over the next few weeks. It's not like crazy volume, but what I'm really interested in is if we somehow come and tap this 150 level, that would be crazy strong. What is this previous all-time high? So I'd expect like a huge bounce off of that. It seems like we might not get there though, but it seems like we are bouncing in this daily gap here. This daily chart, right? Yeah. Sort of this daily gap that we have here. So either way, like whether we hit this previous all-time high or not, I think this is more of a longer dated play, so this looks actually very, very good. We're seeing nodes up to 185, 170 this week, next week towards 180, 195, and the week after even towards 207, 205. So like this is what we mean by when we say stair stepping upwards. And there's just not much pull to downside, I guess. The one thing I want to check here is the earnings date. So November 4th. Okay. Yeah, so honestly, like this could be a good play of, pulling the earnings run up. Um, and yeah, I guess I leave it up to y'all if you want to hold through earnings or not, but typically I don't. Said 260. Okay. Yeah, and their OPEX node for next month is at 260, which is very, very high. But I wouldn't get too focused on the highest node. When you're looking at these long-term plays, or like towards these Vex ones, you'll also want to think of like where's potential rejection or resistance. So this 200 level has volume across all 4 weeks. So you say, okay, this 200 level might hold, and even this 210 that has strong volume may reject. So I would not, absolutely not I would not take like 240 calls for a month out, right? I would be looking at a much more conservative target because you have to always be considering what could go wrong while you're in the trade. Josh, would you play even if we didn't have a floor? It depends on the price. Sometimes I will play. I'll take plays like this, even if we don't have a good floor. If it's like a cheaper play, right? So if it's like, oh, 100, 200, I'll try it out. Yeah, without there being a strong floor, like we have, uh, no, I mean, this 150 is like a very, very weak floor. What I'm more interested in would be if we tap this 147 on the chart. To me, that would be like a super good spot to long this. Um, but again, like, yeah, the upside is definitely on. I guess another way you could look at this is that we had this double bottom here around 162, 161. And it looks like, we dropped in, swept that liquidity, and now we might bounce. uh, yeah, so WC, that's a good point. That max 260 node is on OPEX, as I said. A lot of times those nodes, they do influence price, but I would say they're usually quite optimistic. Those OPEX nodes tend to be quite extreme, far out in price, and they're not always ending up there. And so, and that's why I made the point of, right, when you look at a map, you can't just look at where's peak node. You have to be looking at where is the potential resistance on the way, right? So like what I mentioned about the 200 node that has like semi good volume across all, all of the next 4 weeks, and it's a huge psychological level. You have to start thinking of like, oh, this is a spot where price could reject. Or for example, this 210 node. This is already something that's limiting your upside. So for me, when I look at this and I say, oh, where's the ceiling? I'm looking at 210, right? I'm not looking at 260. So you need to be always, um, considering the worst case scenario, right? Because that's where you want to be able to scale and then leave runners in case you want to hold for that crazy OPEX node. Yeah, well, yeah, big M. I mean, I have Skylit pulled up right now. WZ, I don't know if we have a case study, but I can look into that. At least currently, I don't know if we have that data like compiled at all. Sorry, I'm just checking. Oh, ALAB is quite expensive. Is ALAB a materials company or what do they do? I don't know what they do, but they may be influenced by news lately because these contracts are juice. They're all above 100% IV. So, semiconductor. Okay. Yeah. So, I guess one warning here would be we have earnings November 7th, and then two, these contracts are pretty juiced. So, personally, I probably won't play it. Um, I guess you could look into doing shares, but I probably wouldn't play options myself just because I tend to stay to any IV under 100. Raymond, I would like to have a channel with successful setups. Um, yeah, Raymond, so that's something I'm gonna spend a bit more time putting some recaps of, you know, typically trade ideas that either Jewel or myself have posted and just showing the results of what happened. Um, so yeah, Raymond, I'll do that's on my list of things to sort of start doing more consistently. Uh, why under 100? 100 what? Oh yeah, yeah, I prefer to play options where the IV is under 100%, so I don't get IV crushed. especially as we approach earnings. There's a chance this could IV crush pretty bad. But at the same time, as we approach earnings, if the IV pumps at all, you can also sell out of it um, just before earnings. Yeah, WZ, I think that's another good point. Is the nodes are very small. I don't know why it has been there a long time. So Glitch added like these little circles that tell you, which tickers have been there enough time or not. So ALAB has been there longer than 3 months. So yeah, I'm not too sure why these nodes are a bit, they're really, really weak. So maybe that's another thing to caution is, maybe wait for a stronger floor to set up or even just stronger upside nodes to be there and then take a play there. But yeah, um, yeah, ALAB, I guess I'd be interested, but I probably would only play shares. I don't know if I'd play options on this, just with the way the contracts have looked. Okay. I don't know what this company is. Align. So we have a pretty good node for 140 next week. Let me check. Let me check their earnings. Okay, so their earnings are next week. Hmm. Yeah, so it looks like we have a pretty good level here. Around 129, 130. Yeah, so I think on this one I'd probably be waiting to see if we retap that 130 floor and then playing sort of this upside node for next week. But again, with earnings, it's also a bit sketchy. Um, or if you do play that, you may want to exit just beforehand. But yeah, I wouldn't. This 134 floor, I probably wouldn't play it. I'd probably just wait for that 130 and just sort of wait for the absolute bottom of range. So this one, yeah, I wouldn't say I like it too much. And on the chart, it's okay. But yeah, it looks like we bounced off 130 late last week, so I don't know if we'll revisit. Descending wedge. Uh, Gavin, which one are you talking about? ALAB, ALGN. Yeah, I guess when y'all make comments, can you have the ticker, please? Otherwise, it's hard to follow. Oh, I don't chart anything that's monthly expirations, so I'm just gonna skip these, and I'm also gonna skip all indexes. So I'm not gonna chart SQQQ, SPY, DIA, like any of those ETFs. I skip. Um, okay, yeah, so we can keep going. So yeah, I think I have to be done by 11, if I remember right. Let me see here. So I think I'm at is materials. Yeah, so we have a bit of decent upside for next week. Mm, this ticker probably has been having a bit of volatility just due to some of the materials news that has been around. Trying to check if these contracts are actually no, but the contracts look healthy. So let me see. So if you're looking at next week or 2 weeks out, 240. These contracts don't look too bad, honestly. So there's definitely some upside there. What I would say is this 225 level is very strong on the chart. It's a bit weaker on the maps, especially on VEX. It's actually quite soft. Um, I might still play it just because we've only bounced once off of this 225, so I'd probably be interested on a mat if we revisit 225. Um, and I see this, especially this Gex node. If I would need this to grow a lot more for me to trust it fully as a floor. It's pretty weak right now, so um, yeah, it looks okay on the chart. I would like the maps to show a bit of a stronger floor. Okay. AMC, yeah, I don't know if there's much to look at here. These maps pretty flat. Okay, AMD does look a bit better. Actually, AMD looks really good. I guess AMD ran today. I guess this annoying part is a lot of these setups are just going to be definitely gonna feel like a chase. Looks like AMD held here, and now it's testing sort of like this triple top. Holy, why is my computer lagging? So what I'd say for AMD is if we're able to hold this 240, or even break and retest above this 240, 241 level, it does look pretty good for upside to this week and next. Let me check earnings. Yeah, and yeah, if you play bi-weeklies, you're still safe from earnings. Earnings, it seems to be the Tuesday, yeah, 3 weeks out. Yeah. So, sorry, someone's unmuted. Give me a second. Okay. But yeah, AMD definitely looks bullish as long as we break and hold above this 240. Okay, there we go. And yeah, the VEX as well looks very, very positive. I can. Oh, thank you. Okay, yeah, AMD has earnings 3 weeks out. Yeah, so AMD, I'd probably be looking for a break and hold of 240. That's probably where I'd be uh locked in on. But honestly, oh shoot, wait, I should have been starring some of these setups. Was it Apple that looked good? Sorry, I'm gonna go quickly through these because I like to save the ones that I wanna send out on Twitter. Accenture, no, no. Did Affirm look good? Not really. What was the other one that I said looked good? I guess A-Lab looked alright. ALGN, not really. I think Amat was okay. Then AMD was okay. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. All right. Amazon. Yeah, I don't think I'd play Amazon. Let me see here. Yeah, I would just say Amazon doesn't really have much range. I wouldn't be too interested. Oh, what's up, Dylan? Okay. Yeah, I can. Okay. Oh, okay. Thanks. What's this guy's name? Big T. Okay. Annette. Yeah, I guess at 150 you can look for a rejection. Let me check the chart here. Not too sure with the net actually. We do have a. Looks like we do have a good note here at 150. The downside seems to be down at 137, but we kind of just came from that level a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I might mark out 150 and just check candle reactions around there, but I guess typically I like when we have sort of some kind of target. I guess the VEX is showing a little bit of a target, but yeah, net could look at 150 for a rejection. It's not a bad idea. Okay, app. Yeah, so I guess for setups like app, it looks like we're testing this 565 level for the third time, or even 560. So I'd be a bit worried about a breakdown there, especially with this 570 sort of being a potential ceiling. So I probably wouldn't touch it unless we tap either 540 or 590 on the extreme sides of the range. But yeah, at first glance, it looks like we are having our third tap of this level, so it'd be risky to play the bounce, just because we might breakthrough on that level. Okay, ARKK I think is ETF. I'm not gonna look at those. ARM. I think a lot of people liked ARM last week, if I remember right. Yeah, so ARM, I would honestly say like display is already like we missed it. Yeah, this one had a ton of confluence last week. Like, we had a good Fib retracement bounce. I think it's bouncing off of a previous. I don't know if it's all-time high. No, off this previous like strong double top. So previous strong resistance. So yeah, it held a support, and we sort of broke out this trend line. So I would say ARM is definitely. It looks like it has a bit of upside left, but it's definitely a chase if you're to get in now. ASON, this is extremely low volume. I don't. Yeah, I don't even want to say anything on this because it's just not much to go off of. Okay, so I'll probably skip that. ASTS does have pretty good range. Actually, this one. What is this? Um, yeah, ASTS, I would say actually this $80 to $90 range is quite nice. Let me double check. Yeah, we don't seem to have anything outside, any other nodes outside this range. So I would definitely say, yeah, ASTS, if you mark out 80, does look quite strong for us to get some reaction there. And then, yeah, when you do enter that, what you'd probably want to see is as we bounce away, if we bounce off of 80, that we just have start to lose volume as price moves up. But yeah, I would definitely be interested more on the if we hit 80. Head and shoulders. I mean, yeah, potentially. I don't really track that stuff. But yeah, I mean, like we did get delivered from this 90 node, so I think if your alert gets hit at 80, what you need to also check is compared to what it looks like right now, or what it looked like earlier in the day, if or even last week, if you pull up, those heat maps at those timestamps from the bot, you want to also see that this 90 node kept good volume, right? So if this 90 node has shrank by 70%, then I would not be trying to play that bounce, um, you know, and hold it all week, right? So if you, by looking at sort of how these nodes have shrunk or grown or stayed consistent, that gives you some insight into if we bounce, can we expect it to sort of push way closer towards 90, or if it's just going to be a release, more of a minor play. Okay, Avigo. So yeah, again, Avigo has very good upside nodes. What I want to see is that we have like a bit of a very good bounce spot to play off of. So let me see here. Yeah, so I can see. Oh, who's not muted? Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, I would say honestly, like this 340 level is quite strong. 341, where we held as previous resistance. It's held as support one, two, quite a few times. I guess my main concern there is I don't know what this line is for. Whoops, it's probably old. Okay, yeah, so what I would say is, yeah, this 340 looks quite good on the chart, but since it's not really very confirmed on the map, I guess 337.5 has decent volume. But yeah, I would really like that to maybe grow a bit and become a stronger floor. Um, for Avigo, yeah. Axon. Yeah, so Axon looks like it's already been running. It does look like we have pretty good upside. Uh, kind of a stair step. I wouldn't really say it's a stair step, but 2 and 3, 2 and 3 weeks out do have good upside. Um, yeah, I think main issue here is the good bounce was off 640 at this double bottom. That was that's shown to have good volume. We kind of missed that, so I probably wouldn't play unless we get some major retracement on a fib level, maybe. But I'm not too tempted by that one. AXP just ran off earnings, so these downside nodes I would not trust very much. So I would think might have a bit more upside, but since we are at max upside, I probably wouldn't play AXP. Because I feel like, especially week after earnings, they're still trying to reshuffle some of these larger positions. So I don't personally wouldn't like it too much. Uh, TT. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. I guess like as I go through and chart, then I start compiling which ones I like the most, and then I post them on Twitter. Uh, Chicken. Yeah, Chicken already went over ALAP. I think if you swap to YouTube, I think you can like just live, like rewind and watch it. Oh. Mm, okay. Yeah. I just saw Glitch's announcement. So yeah, if what Glitch is saying is true, and we're looking at Friday's nodes, anything I say here, I would double and triple check tomorrow once market opens, and hopefully everything is working back as intended. So yeah, take every sort of anything I say here with some grain of salt. Okay. So yeah, Boeing has a strong level here, 215. Let me see. Yeah, so it does look pretty strong floor on GEX. On VEX, it also has a bit of volume. So yeah, honestly, Boeing, if we revisit 215, I don't mind for weeklies. I would probably not be playing any further out. If you do want to play this node, this lower node at 202, so one, I think that's earnings related because earnings is next Wednesday. But I guess the other viable option here would be if we push towards 225, 230, like towards this clump of nodes, you can try playing the reversal back down to 202 for next week's earnings. But again, I'd probably prefer just playing this week calls if we're tapping 215 or even 210. Then I'd make it interesting there. TT, yeah, I'll get to Tesla Netflix. I mean, yeah, like I said before, trying to go in order so it's a bit more structured. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, thanks. So in that case, we're fine. Um, yeah, again, Baba is probably another example of, we ran all day today. Not many people are able to take positions. I probably wouldn't enter unless we get some kind of retest towards 167. Um, sort of towards these nodes here, or this level. So yeah, not much to say there unless we retest and bounce. I wouldn't look at Baba too much. I guess you can mark out 182, 185 for potential rejection, um, but again, my concern with that is next week's does seem to point quite a bit higher for all the nodes. So I'd probably just play that rejection to the downside on Baba as more of a scalp. Mm, yeah, I don't know how much I like Bank of America. Yeah, I guess for Bank of America, to be safe, you can wait for 50, but I guess 51 could also hold as a bounce. If you're targeting 54 this week or 55 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. Um, yeah, or if you wait for 54. I probably wouldn't wait for 54. I don't know if it's at all-time highs or not, but I wouldn't. Sorry, actually, no, maybe that's not a bad play. Yeah, I guess if we start pushing towards 54, I'd want to see. Just make sure that there's no intermediate floor that shows up lower. So, like, if we tap 54, but this 52.5 node has grown a lot, it just reduces our downside, right? So if we hit 54 and I still am only seeing nodes towards 51 and 50, then I'd be more interested in taking the play. But right now, this 52.5 node is a bit concerning where it may act as a sort of higher floor. SK, yeah, SK, I'm going alphabetical order, so I'll get there in a while, but I'll get there. BP, what is it? BlackBerry? Is this a meme stock? I don't think I'm gonna trade this. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Like level wise, yeah, I guess the issue is it's pointing downwards, not upwards. So, yeah, to me, I don't. Also, it's BlackBerry. I don't. That has to be a meme stock by now, or like this far away from when they actually have stuff. Okay, BBAI. I think I marked out 7 last week. It seems like our floor is even down at 6 now. Mm, yeah, so BBAI, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be too interested. This map is pretty messy. Again, like if we do come down, perhaps this swing low here, down at 620, 630, then I might be interested. This is actually quite a good level around here. Oh, that snapped to the wrong place. Around here. But yeah, I guess to me, this map is not super clear. BE, this has nothing. Yeah, it's like nothing. Baidu. Who's MDT? I don't know who that is. Alright, I'll just keep going. Actually, it's almost 10. Alright, I'm gonna start flicking through these quicker. Yeah, so Baidu, I think China already ran, so this is gonna be more of a chase here. Just watch for rejection at 127. I don't know if I'd play puts though, because that 133 we still have to the upside. So I'd probably be a bit cautious there. BIIB, I don't even know what this is. Um, Hmm. So this is a healthcare stock. I was gonna say that playing the bounce on 140 looks pretty good. It looks like we barely missed that. We bounced on 141. What else I was gonna say is they have, at least for now, we have some level of downside, but we don't really have a good ceiling spot to reject from. So I would maybe pay attention to this 150 level, 149 to 150. It's a potential spot where we go tap and then reject downwards. But yeah, it's pretty low volume, so I'm not sure what to say. Booking cost 5,000 bucks. What the? Okay, I'm not gonna look at booking. I don't look at some of the like super expensive ones like booking or Mercado Libre or stuff like that. Blink, I don't know what they do. Seems like we're consolidating well. Yeah, I don't think there's much to say on Blink. Perhaps you could look at 1.5 as a bounce spot, but I don't know. I typically don't play tickers that cheap, so I don't. Not sure I want to say too much there. So yeah, BMNR. BMNR off of 55. Actually, this doesn't. This doesn't look too bad. It's been resistance, one, two, three, support a couple times, resistance again. So yeah, I would say BMNR actually looks quite good if you need a downside play. Again, I think this is something I said in the chat. If you're going into the week or just, you notice on Wednesday you've already bought 3 or 4 call positions, you should be trying to make your next play. I'll say 2 or 3 actually, 2 or 3 call positions. You should be trying to get that third or fourth play to be puts, just so your portfolio is just naturally hedged in case we get any sharp downturn or steep move upwards. Oh, sorry, I just saw the YouTube questions. Yes, on YouTube, I'm going. I think I already said I'm going alphabetical, so I'll get to all of those. So yeah, Yoshi, going alphabetical. So either if I haven't gotten to it yet, just your guess you'll have to wait live, or just you can watch the replay and sort of skip through based on what I'm on in the moment. Luis, no, apparently the maps are fine. I think it's an issue with some of the Heatseeker bot commands that are trying to pull maps from, old maps from today. Okay, so yeah, BMNR. I'd be pretty interested, yeah, if off this 55 level for some downside, especially if you need a downside play. I don't think we'd go all the way to 47, but just because we tapped pretty close to it last week and the end of last week. But yeah, just based on portfolio, you can sort of size appropriately. BP looks good at a bounce at 31. Oh, I haven't been saving these. Oh, shit. So I think BMNR look good. Fuck. What else looked good? ASTS maybe? I don't remember. Yeah, no memory. I guess Baba and Baidu probably did because they're in China. Okay. Yeah, so BP, I'd probably be looking for a bounce off 31 or rejection at 35. So I guess BP is one of those examples you can sort of just set your levels, and if they get tagged, then you play the opposite way, and if they don't, then that's it for the week. Yeah, I guess one thing I'll say is the node This 35 note, I would hope it gets a bit stronger, maybe. But but yeah, I guess currently it's in the middle of the upside and downside ranges, so I would not play it until we go and tap one of those sides on BP. Yeah, so we have a bit of upside, but these nodes are actually quite strong or quite weak. So I don't know if I'll spend too much time on Weeble. I gotta hurry this along so I don't fall short. BY and D, I think a bunch of people already played, so don't chase that, please, if anyone's considering. Let me see here. What else do we have? Okay, so City. So City. Looks like we have. Oh wow, this map is weird. Oh, we just pumped. So it looks like we just bounced off 95. So that would explain why this node has shrank a lot. Well, still at 8,000, so one of the larger ones. But I guess what could happen here is we see some more growth at this 104, or especially this 105 and 101 levels. But at least right now, yeah, at least right now, I would say that sort of the 95 tap and bounce already happened, so I wouldn't look at it. Cake has monthly expiration, so I won't look at it. Card just looks really soft over the next 2 weeks. There's just not much volume at all, so I can't really find a good bounce spot to play these 42 and 44 nodes. So yeah, I wouldn't do too much there. Caterpillar, interesting. Seems to have a lot of downside actually, but let me check. Let me see, Caterpillar here. So 345 is definitely like our max upside, which would align with this wick from Wednesday. So that would absolutely be a good spot to short. Yeah, if we stay under where we are right now, I think, yeah, we could get a bit of downside, but I guess the play I'd prefer is if we wait for, go back up to this double top and then reject. But so yeah, I don't know if I like Caterpillar too much. So Kava does have semi like stair stepping upwards. But the nodes are pretty weak, so let me see if there's a good bounce spot on the chart. Yes, I think also the issue with Kava is like the clear bounce spot would probably be around here at 62. It's been tested a lot of times, like 4 or 5 times. Yeah, so I don't know if I'd play Kava myself. CCJ. Yeah, so again, CCJ looks like we're seeing a bit of a floor around 82, 84. So might sweep that liquidity perhaps, but so like around here. Whoops, that's not what I. Yeah, so it looks like we rejected under 87. So I'd say this one looks pretty limited on upside. Unless those higher notes start to grow out of nowhere, that this one looks like the move is mostly done. CCL, I think this is Carnival Cruise Lines. Wait. Sorry. Oh, okay. So actually, this one's quite interesting. So it looks like we did double bottom off of sort of like 27.5, 28 last week. I guess the reason I'm interested is we do have a couple of nodes pushing upwards into 2 weeks out. It doesn't look like earnings is anytime soon. So what I'm feeling now is that if we get a break in this level, this 29 level. Yes, we can do here is if we retap 28, perhaps try longer data calls. But yeah, I would say, if you're entering around 28, even 25, even 29, if you're doing a break and retest, this 29 level might be where you want to take your play off of. Just because I'm not sure if we'll retest all the way to 28. Okay, CDNS. I don't know what this is. Yeah, so I guess here's another example of like the GEX is showing a really strong floor, whereas the VEX is not really showing anything at all. So in cases where they're not agreeing or they're at that discrepancy, I always just prefer to either try to short 340 or long 295. So I sort of help the outside. I would take the plays based on the outside nodes. If that makes sense. CEG. Yeah, I don't see too much going on here. I wouldn't play that. Celsius. When do they have earnings? That bounce off of the top node for next week looks quite good. Earnings is 3 weeks out. Yeah, so Celsius maybe is a good play if we tap 65. Oh, did we just tap this today? Uh, so yeah, you'd be playing Celsius with a $60 target, so roughly here. But yeah, definitely I would wait for that 65-ish to hit. Or even 66. Oh, I guess we already had the double top, so yeah, let's see. If you really want to take play, could on a fib retracement back to downside, but this one looks quite good to reverse off 65, 66 and push lower towards 60 next week. Possibly this week, but I guess the node I've been targeting is next week's node. CFLT. Yeah, this one's flagging quite well. My only concern is if we do get a push, will these 24 nodes get in the way of 26? So yeah, I guess I don't like that mid node, that midway node that exists. Okay. Chewy. Chewy, yeah, I guess if we tap this 336, it would be a good entry for longs. But yeah, Chewy, I think I traded twice or once and then gave up because it messed up a lot of people on some, I don't remember what node that was, but okay. CLOV, there's not really much going on that map. CLSK, I think this is also an example of a play that's already gone. Actually, we dropped quite heavy today. So yeah, CLS scam. You might want to mark out 20 to see if this level will hold this floor. We do have some pretty good upside this week and next week, but again, with sort of the pump we had today, I really want to make sure I'm waiting for pretty deep retests. What is this, Comcast? Yeah, so Comcast actually looks quite good, not gonna lie. We have sort of like a bit of a janky double bottom. Yeah, as well as this trend line. So honestly, to me, it looks quite good. It would have been good to get in last week on that note, on that wick, when we took out that wick. I'd say the main issue here is there's just a big lack of upside. Like we have a bit of nodes here on VEX. There's just, yeah, it's not much other info other than a bounce here around 28. Uh, CMG, what is this? Chipotle. Okay, Chipotle has earnings next week. It seems to be biased a bit downwards, but um, but yeah, I guess like if you do want to play that downwards bias for next week, you probably want to make sure you're buying at a good resistance level based on the GACs. Okay, we keep going. CMI, yeah, so this map is extremely unclear. I'm just gonna skip it. What is this coin? Oh, coin. I'm just not even gonna look at. Costco. I'd probably be looking at 110 for a bounce. If you're looking for it. Let me see. Costco. So yeah, it looks like we just came from those 950, 960 nodes. So I would imagine those faded quite a bit. Um, yeah, but now we have this 935 trying to either reject or hold price. Um, yeah, again, Costco, I don't think the map overall is a bit messy. It does look like it's stair stepping upwards on VEX, so it's possible you can do a bit of a longer term play there. But again, with earnings season, oh no, Costco already had them. Then yeah, I would say probably what's important is that we're claiming this level here on the chart around 935, which coincides with the node that is currently lit up. So okay, so Coupang, I know I've seen many times this ticker has upside nodes and doesn't quite reach it. So if you do end up playing this, I'd recommend taking very close to the money calls. I guess the good thing is it's quite cheap, so you actually can take close to the money or in the money even. Um, let me see here. We have pretty solid trend lines here. So yeah, I mean we've been stalling for a while now. Yeah, so we do have a pretty good flag, but again, I wouldn't say there's a very good floor, so probably hope to wait for one of those to form. Okay, circle. I think people already talked about circle. Um, Yeah, I don't know if I have much to say on Circle. I guess like all these nodes look very weak for a bounce. This top node is 149. Okay, nice. Yeah, I guess like a 120, even like if we come take out this liquidity around here, 125-ish, still decent entry. I think the bounce here happened already, and then now it might start going up. Yeah, see, we got 3 taps, 4 tap liquidity sweep, and then it started pushing. All right. CRM. Yeah, I don't like CRM too much. Maybe this 245 floor. Yeah, not a big fan there. Crocs looks terrible. Yeah, I'm not even gonna look at that. Crisp. I guess Crisp. Okay, the volume is quite low, but yeah, maybe look out at this 81 level as a potential rejection. 81. No, not even. Yeah, this double top would be around like 78. Yeah, I probably just wouldn't play Crisp. Just because the downside floor on Vex is until 69, so I'm not sure it'll get there. But also, I don't want to play bounces purely off the Gex, so I'd probably just skip this one. CrowdStrike. Sorry, where's my? Okay, there we go. Okay, CrowdStrike has a strong node at 520. Oh, yeah, look, I already have an alert up there. Okay, so yeah, it looks like I'm just waiting for this 520 to hit and then seeing if we still have some level of downside, then trying to take puts there. So yeah, I guess this one's easy. CoreWeave. Interesting. I think CoreWeave bounced off at 130 last week. 121. Hmm. Yeah, so CoreWeave again, it's seeming. Oh wow, that'd be crazy if they bounce it over 128 and overnight. Yeah, what I was gonna say is it looks like they hunted under 128. Not sure if to flush lower or just like as a stop hunt. Yeah, but I guess what I would say regardless is safer entries. Yeah, you're gonna have to wait all the way till 121 because these upside nodes we kind of just came from them, so a lot of them are just still being delivered to and probably losing volume as we go down. Okay, Carvana. Let me see. This 325. Yeah, 325 is a great bounce spot. It looks like we already bounced there, so I would say this play also is already $50 up. That's already a big chase. Let's keep going. Yeah, CVS. I don't know if there's anything much here. Yeah, I mean, there's decent floor 81, but again, that's previous. Right. So it's yeah, you can try to play the bounce off of a level like this. It's just there's not much upside targets to play towards. So maybe perhaps not on CVS. CVX. Oh, CVX is interesting actually. Oh fuck, I don't know what I was supposed to watch list. Damn, I keep forgetting. Whatever. What's the other one? CVX or CVS? No, CVX. Yeah, so CVX for this week does have range from like 155 to 146. Obviously, we came from 146. Yeah, that was a long time ago. So yeah, I guess based on this 155 node, probably start expecting a rejection around here. Yeah, around one of these wicks from the past. So yeah, that'd probably be what I'd be looking for. Seeing if we can tap maybe even a bit higher within it, like 156, or actually even higher. Okay. All right, yeah, I gotta start rushing. Delta, yeah, I would just if we tap 65, I would grab puts towards 60. I would only do that if this 60 node keeps good volume for next week. So yeah, if you check this Friday or earlier this morning, or if you check tomorrow and this 60 node has one half the price, let's say like it's only 3,000, then that's maybe a sign of concern about playing puts because it looks like that one would be fading very hard, but not sure. Yeah, I guess you'd have to look into it once we tap 65. Um, so we do have like that good risk reward. Dash. You can look for a rejection at 272, 275. Uh, yeah, so previous resistance, support. Let's see, source support and resistance. Yeah, DoorDash isn't terrible. I don't know if I love it, but Dropbox. Yeah, I feel like there's not much to do here. Volume is quite low. I'm not seeing anything I like. What is this? Datadog. Oh, wait, what? 157. Yeah, Datadog looks a bit interesting. I wish there was a better ceiling. I mean, obviously we have this 157-ish level. Um, but yeah, Datadog. Honestly, I'm pretty biased towards downside now that I look at this. It's just we don't have a great ceiling node or area on the chart to play off of, so I would keep an eye on DDog. Um, Yeah, so Azure, the colors that are next to the ticker, if you use like if you're on computer and you hover over them, it's basically showing how long the data has been being compiled within each ticker. So if it's over 3 months, it tends to be quite safe. So those will be all the green circles. The blue ones will be if they're not quite 3 months, and then these partial. Uh, Wait, sorry, did I skip one here? Oh yeah, so yeah, Datadog probably want a better ceiling. John Deere. Sorry, y'all. Kind of tripping right now. Tired. On YouTube. Yeah, Luis already went over ARM. I think if you scroll back, should be towards the beginning. John Deere. Yeah, I don't know if I play John Deere. These are pretty weak levels on Gex. Okay, so yeah, maybe Dell. Dell has a very strong level here at 152. Again, as you prepare plays for the week, I know most people are more call biased. If you're grabbing anything towards downside to hedge yourself, these are sort of potential setups you'll be looking at, right? So if Dell has very strong node at 152, um, let me see here. Yeah, this has been previous resistance a couple times. Put this up a bit higher. So then that shows you, okay, we have a sign on the chart that's confirming what we're thinking. Um, so yeah, look into that. I don't know what dividends does. Okay, so I think they should pay out dividends, right? So not sure if it impacts stock movement or not, but yeah. So just see how this looks tomorrow. I don't. I'm not sure if we have any idea how if dividends impacts maps or not. I don't believe so. But yeah, Dell has like super strong nodes, so it could be good area to short. DHI. I don't know what this is either. Okay. So yeah, DHI. I guess same thing as Dell, right? Like you can mark out this 162 level and see if we get a good reaction off of it. But yeah, it's even like this 163, we had a double bottom in the past. But I typically, yeah, I guess the setups I prefer to see usually have some downside on them. It's more of a range, not just one node on its own. DIA is ETF. I'm not gonna look at that. Disney's quite clear actually. So we have 109 and 117. Um, so yeah, you can sort of set those as alerts, and then just double check what the maps look like at those times. But yeah, I would say Disney if you're playing the extreme ends back to the middle. Shouldn't be too unsafe. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to really fly through this a bit more. Otherwise, I'm gonna run out of time. DJT. Yeah, I mean these are kind of stair stepping downwards, but it's not enough change each week, so I probably wouldn't take this. Um, just because yeah, Theta might wreck you. What is this? DraftKings. Sorry, let me check price on this or the chart. So DraftKings. Hold up. DraftKings looks like we had a good retrace. I would say I guess I would have hoped that 35 or 35.5 flipped this floor, but seems it's gonna be potential ceiling for now. So I wouldn't take any play higher unless we break and retest on that level. DKS. Yeah, I don't know about this one. The range is pretty small on GAX. VEX just has nodes all over, so I probably wouldn't play that. Donut, this has nothing really. Okay, DocuSign I guess does have decent setup. It looks like we just bounced off 68 on DocuSign. So tomorrow I'd look to see if this 68 node ends up unwinding a lot. If it does, then we could probably expect that it'll keep pushing. If we stay strong, I think it should exert a bit more influence. Domino's Pizza's monthlies. Okay. What is this? Duolingo. So yeah, Duolingo probably wouldn't do anything unless we get a 295 tap. So that'd be pretty in line here. What the yeah, so that'd probably be 295 is like great level for a bounce. Yeah, it's been yeah, this level's super strong actually. So that'd probably be like optimal entry. I don't know if I'd use this 310 as a floor. Just because it's not showing too strong of X, but still possible. Okay. I don't know what this stock is. DX. Yeah, I have no idea what they do. Yeah, this map, I mean, 64 definitely floor, 73, 72, kind of a ceiling, but yeah, I'd say I'd need a bit more volume to look at that one well. EA just looks flat into next week. eBay. Hmm. Yeah, so eBay, what I was going to say is we just got delivered from a lot of these nodes. So again, check if the volume is decreasing as we push upwards. But I probably wouldn't target them, seeing that we did come from them within the past week or so. Uh, yeah, EL, I don't have too much to say. I guess there's kind of a floor here, 97, 96, but not much. Um, yeah, so ELF. What I was gonna say, if we can claim that 128 floor on Gex, since it doesn't show up on Vex, I'd probably skip this one too. Okay, end phase actually looks decent. Oh, so actually end phase worked today. So yeah, so it seems end phase had a very strong node on Gex at 38. Vex had some volume. Um, but Vex was heavily biased downwards, and Gex had 32 as well. So I think this one playing rejection of the Gex node to the downside. Um, seems like it rejected initially. And so let's see how it goes the rest of the week. But this 32 node is actually quite strong, and we didn't get delivered from it anytime soon. So actually, I don't mind this play at all. EOSC. So yeah, this one hasn't seeded properly. So I would just stay out until it's ready to be used. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Because Etsy's been consolidating for some time, but I'm not seeing many notes going out a few more weeks. For this week, I would just say only thing is I'd probably just wait for the bounce off 66 if it ever happens, but I guess you could try playing the rejection of 70 downwards, but right now we're hovering above. So if these sort of flip into floors, then yeah. Expedient, whatever it's called. Yeah, I don't really see a good floor. I mean, I guess down at 195. No, not even. I don't really like that map. Ford. Yeah, it says nothing. Not really good range. FCX. This one kind of has something actually. Oh shoot. Did we just get delivered from 40? Not really. So yeah, FCX. This might be one where you say, okay, let's see if we can get a 44 tap, then play rejection to next week. I'm assuming it has earnings next week. Yeah, it does. No, sorry, is this earnings this week? Okay, yeah, never mind. Don't play FCX. Yeah, FedEx, I'm not sure. I mean, this level here, 237, 235, seems it'll be support. With upside, but yeah, I'm not sure. I guess seems like there might be a lot of intermediate notes can pop up along the way. Um, yeah, so I'm not sure about FedEx. Fig, Fig, I don't really like. Fig, I don't like unless we hit 53. If we go top 53 down here, that would look pretty good. But also, Fig, you'd want these nodes to get a lot bigger. 5 is monthlies, FSLR, slight bias upwards, I guess. But unless this 230 is crazy level on the chart, I wouldn't take it. So yeah, I wouldn't mess with FSLR. Uh, Football, I don't usually play tickers this cheap, and it's not really showing any range. Um, yeah, Futu probably what I like more is waiting for the range of next week. It's a bit clearer, and then playing the reversal there. Yeah, it's probably not too much with Futu. 5-hour monthlies, FXI. I'm not sure what this is. So yeah, FXI, I don't really see much. Guess there's a bit of a floor at 40, but that's really all I can get out of this one. Floor at 40, but then for next week, I guess we have a couple nodes at 41, 42, 41.5 and 42, so probably have to just be securing profit pretty quick. But yeah, overall, I think FXI, I'm not sure I like it too much. GE, yeah, I would say GE, maybe that 185 node is interesting. And it's up after hours. Oh, they have earnings. Okay, never mind. Don't play GE. Vernova. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks good for upside. I don't see any good bounce nodes though, so probably not play this one. Oh, and it has earnings Thursday. Sorry, Wednesday. Yeah, I'll just stay out of Vernova. GILD. This map is crazy. Yeah, again, very weak nodes for this week, so I probably wouldn't play GILD. Gold. Gold I typically don't play, actually. I should probably take this off the list. Galaxy. Okay, this 34.5 node looks quite interesting. Um, is there a ceiling though? Yeah, I'm not sure what to think on this one. I think that node is strong. There's just no ceiling, so I'm not sure what to do there. I guess you could wait for a tap of 43, 45. Super optimistic case, but yeah, I think Galaxy. There's not much to do there unless we fully drop to 34.5. Then I'd probably load calls or shares quite easily. General Motors also has quite low volume. It looks like there's a range of 55 to 60, so you can probably just play that range on General Motors. Um, yeah, so a bit of volume there on General Motors, but no, nothing crazy. GameStop. Oh no way. Yeah, I guess GameStop is sort of at a don't know about this. I don't know how cheap GameStop contracts are, but yeah, the double bottom was probably here on Friday. So if by Friday it open, a slow grind up. Google. So yeah, if Google's able to claim 260, break above, and hold, it looks very good. I guess this is Google without the L. Um, but we are sort of at a double top on the chart, so just be careful with strong reaction downward. Google, this is the same thing. I'm not gonna. What is this? GoPro? I don't really know what to think here. Yeah, looks like we're already pumped strong. Catching a retest, so yeah, it's better. Better to try that. Um, if you missed the initial play, we still want to do it, but GoPro, I'd probably just leave it alone. Grab. Interesting. Let me think. Yeah, I don't think I like this map too much either. Okay, so Goldman Sachs, very good example. This 755 is a strong level. This 750, I probably wouldn't play the bounce on again, just because we've tested it twice. So it'd be a bit risky on the third one. So I think this continues downward. I might not try playing the bounce for anything crazy, maybe a scalp or something, but nothing insane. GitLab. GitLab. Oh, I think this was news of their merger, if I remember right. So that 44 node is likely not going to be revisited. I would assume, but I guess, yeah, this is when you want to verify that that 44 node was shrinking as that news came out. Okay. So it's GitLab, HAL. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. The GEX doesn't agree with the VEX. Home Depot has crazy upside. Interesting. Yeah, I guess I'll say the 410 node looks quite strong actually for over the next month, like each week. I'd probably want a better bounce spot. So either we, retrace, bounce off 380, 375, or if we break over 397, break, retest, and then bounce off of that for the rest of the way. So this one I'd probably be wanting to wait to see a break and retest of that higher level before doing anything on Home Depot. Hims. Oh god, Hims is looking a bit gross. A bit more gross than in the past. So yeah, Hims just got delivered from some of these 60 to 62 nodes. Um, um, so yeah, I haven't seen the data or like the delta on these volume changes, but this 57, 58, I would assume has been shrinking quite a bit. So probably what I look for here is if we're gonna have an absolute bottom sort of towards 47, 46, or 42. But I guess my point here is we just got delivered from a lot of these upside nodes. I would not chase that too hard. Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah. So I'd say just wait for that 47 probably. 42 maybe not. I think 47 has enough volume to give it a good reaction. And then if you want to wait for upside and play puts, that's a bit trickier. With it is pretty bullish here on this setup on Hims. What is Honeywell? Yeah, these nodes are all pretty small, so I'm just gonna skip that. Hood. Okay, hood. Sorry. Oh man, yeah, I might not get to everything, so I might just come back later and do the rest. I have a couple one-on-ones, but after that, I can do the rest. Um, yeah, I think hood was good setup on Friday. Kind of ran without us. Didn't really give a retest, so I wouldn't chase it, retest or not. HPQ has 27 and 29.5 as nodes. Looks like we just bounced off 27. So that was actually a really strong level. Um, yeah, so I said, I mean, I guess that's sort of the level to watch there. It's that 27. If we're able to tap there, then in theory, try longs. So hut. Hut. Yeah, I don't know. This one, same as usual. There's just no floor on Vex for me to be too interested in. What was the one I just watched listed? Or put an alert on HPQ. Okay. So yeah, HUD I probably wouldn't. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. HYG has some huge volume actually on these nodes. What the? What is this stock? Oh, this is an ETF. Whoops. EBIT just tracks Bitcoin. I'm gonna skip that too. I think IDCC is also an ETF. Okay, so Intel. Yeah, on Intel, I guess 37-ish. No, not even. That's pretty weak on Vex. I guess 40 could be a potential rejection, but again, these are very, very small nodes. Um, so yeah, I'd say Intel, it's a bit hard to tell. These further out contracts are running. Bit of the colorway. Intuit. So yeah, Intuit has good upside on 675, 690 for next week. You want to be checking if you can get a good bounce off of. There's quite a few levels is the problem. So like, yeah, me personally, I would just be waiting for the lowest. So that 635, but um, that 645 has a good argument on the chart as well. This was support quite a few times. So 645. Yeah, I just wouldn't recommend the top entry. 657, I would not recommend. But if you're doing into with 645 entry into next week, that should still do you pretty well. Okay, so quantum, it's been a bit crazy. Yeah, it's like a lot of these upside nodes on quantum. It's hard to know if they're real or not. Let me see here. So yeah, honestly, if we continue this downtrend, I might be. Oh, shit, never mind. Oh yeah, actually, to me, IMQ sweeping this 60 level. That's quite strong, and this is definitely bullish. Yeah, so I think this one I probably wouldn't have played. Just due to the lack of floor on Vex. Iran, what is this company? I think people are talking about Iran. Yeah, I think perhaps a bounce off 55 would look pretty nice. Let's see, it's like right here. Yeah, so it's 55 is previous support quite a few times though, so I guess the only caution there is don't depend on that support too heavily because it does seem pretty fragile. Yeah, that's Iran. I guess the maps do also support that bounce. ISRG, I guess quick looking at the chart, I'd be worried a bit on this 465 double top. The nodes don't show it though, but they do show a lot of downside. Wait, what? Yeah, this is huge downside. Does it have earnings? ISRG, is this the medical one? Yeah, this one, let me think about it. I'm gonna ask Loon about this. Loon is very good with the medical side, I think. So I'm gonna ask her. Okay, but yeah, ISRG, I mean, it has very good downside. It's just there's no nodes to play off of for that downside. What the heck is this? What is IVV? Just volatility of the volatility? What? Oh, this S&P ETF. Okay, yeah. Again, if it's an ETF, I'm not gonna look at it or index. Uh, yeah, JD looks. Actually, JD, this is a chase. I mean, we already pumped off of this 32 node, so good entry on JD was at 32. That already happened on Friday, so I'd probably just let this go, not worry too much about it. Oh, who has earnings tomorrow? Oh, ISRG. Oh, oh, wait. In the morning? Why is this not showing up on TradingView? Interesting. Wait, let me check that map again. JKS. So ISRG. That is very large downside, honestly, with that 435. I'll look into that. Yeah, I don't know. Seems like it'll point down for tomorrow then for earnings, but again, those contracts will be pretty shit to play just due to inflated IV. J&J, again, there's not much of a range here. JPM, JPM looks, let me think. So yeah, JPM, you can look at a 295. Oh, it already happened on Friday. Wow, a lot of these great double bottoms were on Friday. So actually, yeah, on JPM, I probably wouldn't look at what 295. Even if it did tap, that would be third tap, so it's a bit more risky. KHC is right at King Node. I don't really know what's going on here. 25.5. I don't actually know this ticker. Oh, it's ketchup. Hmm. I guess you could try the rejection, but I wouldn't. I've never played it before, so honestly, I'm not too confident. But yeah, I guess the singular node that is there is just got up and tapped today, so there's a chance we either reject or double top and then reject. So could be a good one to try out. And because it's 20, it should be really relatively cheap or really cheap because it's only 26 bucks. What is this? Kratos? Yeah, I don't know. This map is pretty messy. Guess I would have liked the floor to maybe try these upside on next week, but no, I don't believe it's a very clean map. Queb. Okay, wait, sorry. Someone had asked me about this. I'm gonna double check. Yeah, so it looks like Queb here. We're at a semi support resistance level. Um, the range is actually quite wide. Like we do have 36.5 to 43.5 kind of. Um, it just looks like we're kind of caught stuck in this mid range of the two at 40 and 40.5. So I guess I would probably wait just to see if price action confirms that we're going to reject or break through that level, and then you can sort of try to target 36.5 or 43. Or the other approach would be, let it break either way, set alerts on the outside bands, and then try to play the inside. But I don't know. I guess it's pretty volatile if it's reaching either of these. Although I guess it has been moving pretty crazy lately, so might just be better to set alerts on the outside bands and try to play that. Okay, Lucid. Okay, so Lucid on macro. Oh, I have an alert on this. Let me take that off. Yeah, I guess like macro and Lucid, I would want it to reject, get under 19.5 for the 17 node, but it may bounce off 19.5. So in that case, I guess what I'm trying to say on this 19.5, like I prefer plays where we're inside the range. Right now we're outside of it, right? We're on top of the full range, so you can try to play that rejection. I wouldn't hold it too long because the only pull we have left is downside. So what I would much prefer is if we break under 19.5, retest, and then try playing puts down. Or if we sink all the way towards 17, and then I'll just play calls up towards 19.5. So sort of the approach I'd have there. LEN, do they have earnings? Nope. Um, It's 126 levels, pretty weak floor. But if we find any kind of floor, actually, I take that back. Yeah, on the chart, this 126, 127 is a pretty strong level. So if we're able to break above and hold, yeah, break and hold over that level. Calls for next week actually look quite good. Yeah, up towards 135. Yeah, I would think that's pretty good risk reward. Okay, so LEU. Yeah, this map is a mess, so I'm not gonna look at it. Lily. Eli Lilly actually looks interesting. We have, let's see, price bounce off. Oh, wow. Okay, so Browns, we basically got perfect tap here and a bounce. Now it's sort of dealing with this level here. Oh, shit. Yeah, this level right here, which could be some potential resistance. Let me think here. Yeah, I don't know. This A50 and 900 are quite large. But I guess Eli Lilly had some huge upside nodes in the past too. And it came true one week, but not the next week. So then I don't know. This is a crazy gamble. I don't know who's putting Eli Lilly at 1,000. I guess you can try a lotto if you really want to try, but that seems very extreme. So I don't know if I'd try that. Yeah, Eli Lilly 900 next week is like, yeah, I don't know. I don't see it, but I guess if we break over A15, you can try a lotto size. I'll just buy way, way, way closer to the money. Lemonade looks like has good levels for next week, but for this week, not really much to do there. Lockheed Martin is pointing down for OPEX, but for this week, I'm not seeing too much. Let's see, LRCX. Yeah, LRCX we seem to be pointing down, but that 140 node could come in as a sort of as a floor, so I don't like that one too much. Lululemon. I guess Lululemon off 170 is decent. Yeah, I don't know if I like Lululemon too much. Just not very strong notes there to bounce off of. Let me see. Lift. Oracle. Yeah. I think alphabetically. Oh man, I'm only halfway. It's gonna take forever. Okay, yeah, let me do that real quick. I have to go finish those later, the rest of the tickers, but so if I leave off on lift. Okay, so I went A through L. So I also need to start gauging. I need to better gauge my time when I'm doing these because I haven't been able to get consistent timeline. Yeah, so Oracle, we're going on like a pretty good. We've bounced off this twice. I would say we really need to hold 280 for this play. So this is a liquidity sweep, and then we, have a strong reaction upward. Looks very good. We're still holding the 50% of the daily gap, etc. But this is the third tap, so I would just be. This might be a case where you might actually want to wait for confirmation, that we get a strong bottom wick before entering, just because it is a third tap of that level. But we do see pretty good upside towards 300, 310. So I guess the other thing I would say is, we've dropped from 320 down to 280 in 2 days, 2 to 3 trading days. So you can also verify, like for each of those days, just check if this 310 volume has shrank a lot or not. Because if, as we've dropped, if this has just shrank a ton, then I trust it a bit less. But if it's stayed pretty consistent or only shrank a tiny bit, um, then I'd be more interested in it being for upside. Potential inverse head and shoulder. What? I guess this is the head and these are the shoulders. I suppose I don't play head and shoulders and all of that, so that's I don't track those patterns. I just do mostly support resistance. Okay, so I have to swap over to a one-on-one, but I'm probably gonna hop on later. Damn, I guess I'll hop on at midnight to do the bottom half of all these tickers. Fuck, probably be going till like 1 in the morning. So I'll just have a separate. I'll record again on YouTube and post it. So for any tickers I haven't gone over, those will be posted in the morning. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. I need a quicker way to go through these, but I'll have to consider that for the future. G-Doll. No, we can do the one-on-one. I don't think I'll finish the second half in 30 minutes anyway, so it's better we have our chat. Yeah, hopefully it's helpful to everyone. Again, just gonna do the back half of them late at night, and I'll record and post it, so y'all can check in the morning for any ticker I haven't looked at yet, because I know there's a few comments. Okay, yeah, have a good night, everyone. Thanks. I'll be back in an hour. I'll be back on.